Monday morning and we are again in recovery mode from our garage sale because we didn't finish everything on Saturday. That's no surprise, there was a ton of stuff. And today we're going to try to finish that up inside the house and get life back to normal without me having to clean and sort stuff out for the garage sale.
We're almost done clearing out the living room, just a few more things left. And Janelle's just sorting out hangers right now.
We actually are going to need adult size hangers because we had an abundance of kids hangers, but our kids are growing and their clothes are turning into more adult size clothes. So I'm actually happy to get adult size hangers.
And then we just have one more pile to deal with. And most of the stuff we're keeping, it just kind of got dumped there during the garage sale, and now we have to sort it out. I don't know if we told you this, but John and Charity are gone right now. They're doing their school testing. Right now Peter is folding clothes, and Grace is playing with her little barn, and Mary is playing cooking in the kitchen, and Lydia is playing with a toy. We just got done packing up the van with all the stuff to donate, and we're eating lunch right now, and we're having something really good.
We're trying our new fresh horseradish. It's very hot.
And and it stung my mouth.
Art's theory is horseradish kills bugs when you're like viruses and colds and things like that. And Grace woke up this morning with a runny nose. So she loves radish, so we're giving her some. And we're like, you know what? We all should have some horseradish on our bologna sandwich. But this stuff is hot. I mean,
What about
hot.
H?
Oh, making my nose run.
A half of this baby spoon made my nose run. And it's still running.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Chemical warfare.
It helps to fight the bad bugs.
I don't remember our other ones being this hot.
No, it was. Remember that? Remember the video where I was dancing around?
Maybe because I usually let it rest for a long time.
Yeah.
And it dies down a little bit. We're all loaded up in the car and we are making another donation trip to the Salvation Army because we had a lot of good things left. We obviously did not want them and we want to donate them to other people who can hopefully use them. So I decided we'd all go along for the ride since it's not quite nap time and it's just kind of fun to get out. It's a nice day too. And Art's gonna run this stuff in. Yay! Goodbye, junk!
Peter, do you have the baggies in your pocket?
Here goes some more. Yay! Goodbye! Lots more donations. Look at that. We're almost done with everything. And it's a good thing we had a big vehicle so we could fit it all in. But we're happy to pass it on to everyone else.
Done. Now we're going to Price Drop, which is right over there, to drop off a bag of bags to recycle. And then we have a few bags of clothing we're going to put in the box.
Yay!
I almost feel bad for them. You give them all your stuff and you don't know if they need it or not. And you think, oh yeah, can they use this? And then you think, well, I'll just give it to them anyway. If they can use it, they can use it. If not, well, they do whatever they do with it.
There it goes. Goodbye, junk.
Bye,
May
junk.
you bless your new home. And we have another bag of stuff to drop off at this clothing drop box, but it's not actually that much now. These are just little bags today.
Mommy, it's going to rain today.
Oh, it's empty. One of the reasons why we have so much stuff is yes, we had eBay, and yes, we we went to garage sales and we bought some of this stuff to resell. But the other reason is because we're a large family, a lot of folks very kindly donate to us because they know that financially Art owns his own business and we're a large family and they want to bless us with their things. So people bless us with their items and we take what we can use and then we try to pass on and bless others with it. And that's what we're seeing. What you all are seeing are those clothing. I did not buy all that. I rarely go shopping. It is primarily blessings from others, one way or the other. And we are very glad that we've been able to take this more minimalistic approach, at least what we consider a more minimalistic approach, and being able to bless others. It's dinner time, and I've spent most of the afternoon working on just picking up the house, trying to finish up the rest of the junk from the garage sale. Tonight I have CPR. I don't even know if I told you guys that, but I did not. The last thing I really want to do was cook. Now the last 3 weeks I've been doing some meal planning, and that's worked out a whole lot better. But last night Art and I ended up talking for a good chunk of the night. The kids actually had gone down, and there's not a whole lot of time where I get to just talk to Art without little ears around. And so instead of meal planning, I actually caught up with Art to see what some of our plans were for the summer, some decisions we had to make, and needless to say, I didn't meal plan. So today I'm totally shooting from the hip. I realized how much I've really liked the meal plan because I know where I'm going with it. And this is what I meant. This is what I ended up making for tonight's dinner. I took my Instant Pot, and then I took some stew meat and just pressure cooked the stew meat so it was nice and tender. And then afterwards I added a can of stewed tomatoes, some carrots, onion, potatoes, and then after that was all pressure cooked, I added some green peas and seasoning. And that's gonna be our stew for dinner. And then along with that, I made some yummy baking powder biscuits, which are just about done. And my neighbor brought over some fresh lettuce from the greenhouse, which is great because I haven't had lettuce in a little while, and I told you guys I'm waiting for mine to grow. So I'm really super appreciative of him bringing that over, and we're gonna have that with our dinner. And John and Charity are at Grandma and Grandpa's house, but Art's gonna go and pick them up while I go down to teach CPR. And then tomorrow Charity wants to be on call, so that's why they're not going to do their testing tomorrow, but then they'll continue their testing probably Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know if Art showed you in the earlier morning of this video of what this looked like before, but this is a huge improvement. We still have a couple of things to deal with. Art's got a customer coming for a repair. That is on the garage sale site, and we're trying to sell that. There's just a little bit of miscellaneous odds and ends that needs to get straightened up here. That's just an empty box. And then in here, we have most of this dealt with laundry that Peter and Lydia started folding, but they didn't finish. And then just a handful of kids' toys. And then there was a huge stack of books right there. Boxes, actually. And that's been dealt with. So the last big pile is that upholstery stuff that I've got to deal with. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on the garage sale site or just donate it. I'm not sure. Hopefully by the end of this week and the trash cycle and recycles, we'll have everything dealt with and get back to normal. And I just looked at the forecast. It's supposed to be 90. I mean, it's been, earlier this week the high was 40 something, and now it's going to be 90 on Thursday. So go figure, isn't that how it goes? Let me show you this lettuce though. This is what my neighbor grew in the greenhouse. Isn't that gorgeous? I am green with envy. One of the advantages of having a greenhouse. And while I'm out here, I might as well show you our hoop house and how the things are doing in there. This oregano is outperforming itself this year. I'm not sure if this spreads or anything. It never looked like this last year, but I've got to read up about harvesting that. And some of our blueberry bushes don't look too good, but this one actually is doing fabulous. I don't know why, but I'm going to take it. No blueberries this year. They got nipped off in the cold. Now this bush, this is a blueberry bush. Same location, look how sick that looks. And then this one over here looks really good. So no rhyme or reason to why some look good and some don't, but it's just how it goes. This is Mary and Grace's pot of lettuce. I think this is very similar to what my neighbor just gave me. I think I may have to replant the eggplant. It's not doing very well. I only have one, maybe two left, and that's not gonna be enough to feed our family. This is all broccoli here. And then I have all of my peppers, which they're doing okay. Not the greatest, but not too bad. This is the cauliflower that I ended up replanting, and it's doing really fabulous. So this is probably getting pretty close to being planted out in the garden. Obviously something happened to that plant. And tomatoes are finally starting to do what they're supposed to do. It really is amazing how much better my plants do with the hoop house. Like, these aren't getting leggy at all. These are my marigolds. They look pretty good. The basil looks pretty good. Parsley's doing really well now. It's standing up on its own, not leaning over. And then thyme. I have so many thyme plants. I'm gonna have to. Can't imagine going through that much thyme. So I may have to find a new home for some of those plants. I haven't shown you guys the compost, and I really haven't had a whole lot of time to check it. So I've got my trusty pitchfork. I'm gonna quick give it a turn and see what it looks like in there. The compost doesn't look like it's quite done yet, but it probably could use a really good turning, and I obviously do not have time to do that today.
I miss John. Hope John will come.
But you survived today, didn't you?
John and Charity were at Grandpa's and Grandma's doing their school testing. I went to pick them up, and we just got them. And while we were there, Janelle called. Janelle is doing a training right now at the ambulance corps, CPR training. And she said that there's a robbery right behind our house. You've seen this in videos before at the Dollar General. Like you go through the woods and then you up this little hill and there it is. And it happened like right before we left. So I didn't realize it at the time, but right after we left, we saw a helicopter fly over. And then it kind of circled, and then it started to fly sideways, like right over our house. And I'm thinking, oh, this doesn't look very good. And when I got to Grandpa's and Grandma's house, Janelle called and said, armed robbery. So, yeah, not good. They didn't catch the guy yet that we know of. But we did get a description.
What's his description?
Red hair, 5'9".
That's your size.
Let's see, black hat and black sweatshirt. So.
Any pants?
He's probably wearing pants, yes, I would assume.
No, is he wearing blue jeans or dress
I don't know. They did. He's wearing a tuxedo, John. They didn't say. So anyway, we're going to be on the lookout, and I don't like this when this happens.
Blue car, I think.
This is where the robbery was. Right there. Police are still there.
Kind of looks like.
Oh, there's a helicopter.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, whoa. Cool.
Did they catch him?
Look at that.
God, you can't see it.
We're all safe at home, and my guess is they caught the guy because I doubt they'd have the helicopter sitting on the ground and they're just shooting the breeze if the guy hasn't been caught yet. Well, maybe they didn't catch him yet. Yes, it was.
It's still circling. I think you could fall last someone hit him.
I don't think you'd want to do that.
Good. It's still circling. We haven't run yet.
Bye-bye. Wave it to me, and then I wave back it.
They waved back at you at the helicopter?
Yeah. And no, we'll push it by sticking his head out the window.
Helicopter?
I think we're going to call it a night. I think Art probably mentioned to you about the robbery that we had in our backyard on the other road of a store. Had an armed robbery, and I was down at the emergency squad, and as I was driving down, this sheriff went by very slowly, and I'm like, that's kind of strange, but I didn't think anything of it. And then some of the firemen started arriving. They're like, did you see the helicopter? It was right at, we figured you guys had a bad 911 call. I'm like, no, we haven't heard anything. And then a couple more firemen came in, and then one of the firemen had actually stopped and talked to one of the officers, and they told him it was an armed robbery at the store, and he was wanted. They couldn't find him, and between the store and our house is woods, a great hiding place. Mm-hmm. So I knew Art had just left the house to go pick up John and Charity, so I called my parents and said, hey, tell Art what's going on. And then I proceeded to call my neighbor because I wanted to make sure they were aware to lock up their things too. And, you know, he's still at large as far as we know. But that's life. I mean, who would ever think somebody would rob the store behind our house?
You're right, in little tiny burnt hills.
Yeah.
This was his, I think, 4th or 5th robbery.
Right, just this weekend.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that was kind of the excitement. Firemen did an awesome job on their CPR. Some years they don't do so great, but this year they did really well. And they all sent their thanks to you, Art, for watching the kids so I could go teach them. And I got to do that one more night, and then they will be done for another year. But we're going to edit, and maybe I'll pick up the office a little bit.
That
or
would be
maybe I'll
good.
just go to bed.
That would be even better.
So thanks so much for watching, and I guess we'll catch you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.